the commissioner's referring to is we submitted a proposal to Beverly Hills to take over their building and planning operation and utilizing our existing staff. I have to tell you how proud I am of the staff. Not one person mentioned "not my job" or expressed any unwillingness to expand the amount of work that they are undertaking because of that. They completely understand the situation we're in financially. They're willing to step up. Their department heads, specifically Bruce Johnson and Jana Eckerd, dove in. You read the proposal. They did a beautiful job on
Really
the proposal.
good.
But we costed things out. The finance department was heavily involved in evaluating it. And again, they recognize that, they have to do things to keep things operating. And with the loss in revenue due to the decline in building activity, this certainly would help the city. So.
And this was really a great opportunity to locate a new revenue source for the city at a time when other revenue sources are drying up. So it's a good thing.
My concern as I read it, I thought it was very well prepared, but I thought it was so comprehensive. How can our staff do this in addition to all they have to do? It's a good revenue source, but is it realistic that they can handle all of this?
Yes, it is.
It seems like a lot. Well, I don't know what's going on in Beverly Hills, but it seems like a lot.
We can handle it.
Okay.
But in terms of our peak years to where we are now, I mean, I had heard numbers like we've had like an order of magnitude of 10 building permits this year compared to what we've had in the
It
past.
declined dramatically.
Dramatically. So the combined Beverly Hills and us today would be still half or a
Still
third
below
or a
we were.
quarter of what
At
we
our
used to be.
peak, we were rocking and rolling in town in terms of permits.
So the problem would only come back if the world comes back and everybody's developing, and that's a problem we'd love to have, right?
We'll call you.
Yeah, right, we'd love to have that problem.
This general concept has been vetted with the Beverly Hills City Commission, has it?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. In
There-
fact, I watched their meeting on cable, and Mr. Wilson was explaining that he was expecting the bids and he was going to get them. Mr. Wilson and I have had discussions about this. I brought him over, introduced him to our department, walked him through the department, introduced him to the individuals. I think he has a strong comfort level. Even though they asked for a proposal on this, this does not include their landlord-tenant, and I'll tell you why. They have not had landlord-tenant, and my anticipation is that the first couple of years of implementing a landlord-tenant is going to be a major undertaking. And in fact, I think that maybe the first year or 2 years needs to be a higher fee from their standpoint, just to cover the additional cost and the amount of follow-up that's going to be necessary to get those places in shape. I have some personal knowledge of a family member that lives in Beverly Hills, and I kind of have a feel for what their ordinance enforcement is or isn't, and their landlord-tenant situation. And while I'm confident they have some very good landlord-tenant situations where the buildings are probably in fine shape, I'm confident that there's some situations that are less than that too, and it's just part of the process that you have to go through it. So I want time to sit down and undertake that, and I suggested that even though they've passed their ordinance, that they may want to consider delaying its implementation
Oh.
so that we have a chance to sit down and first develop a relationship through the building planning kind of functions, and then evolve into this landlord-tenant. It was fairly controversial when they passed it, but I think for either of us to misstep in implementing that ordinance would not be good for either jurisdiction. So I wanted more time, and the other thing is, it's somewhat, the seasons play better for us. It'd be better for us to start that sort of a system in the winter, when the building construction activity is down and the ordinance enforcement, because you're outdoors, is down. So that would be a better time for us to start something, going inside the buildings is where you spend most of your time. And then we'd have our resources more available then too. So that's the way we wrote up the proposal, and I spoke briefly to Mr. Wilson about it, and I think he understands our position.
Good.
So.